Europe since 1789 to 1914. So this course unit is going to help us to understand a lot of things concerning the past history, looking at the background of different European countries. We shall look at different revolutions that took place in different countries. For example, looking at the 1789 French Revolution, its causes, the cause, and the contributions of different people, personalities, the encyclopedists, philosophers, King Louis XVI, the wife to King Louis, that is Queen Marie Antoinette. We shall look at the second phase, that is the Reign of Terror, and after we shall look at the dialectoral government that was formulated. Then we shall also analyze Napoleon Bonaparte and his power consolidation, that is even in the continental system. So by the end, at least in our Unity 1, we shall be able to explore all those areas. Then from there, we shall look at the Vienna settlement and the Congress system and the era of Metternich. This is when we shall also analyze the restored Bourbons in France. Still, we shall look at, according to the course outline here, we shall look at Napoleon III, Louis Napoleon III of France, his domestic and foreign policies. We shall look at the unification struggle. We shall look at Kaiser William II, that is German, Otto von Bismarck, Giuseppe Mazzini, Giuseppe Garibaldi, Count Camille de Cavour, Victor Emmanuel II. All these people, how did they contribute towards the unification of their states? Look at Camille de Cavour on behalf of the Italian states, Victor Emmanuel II on behalf of the Italian states, Giuseppe Mazzini on behalf of Italy, Giuseppe Garibaldi on behalf of Italy. So we shall look at their contributions towards the unification of their states. Then we shall look at the Eastern question. The Eastern question, that is when the Ottoman Empire started to collapse. The Ottoman Empire started to collapse in the middle of the 18th to the 19th century. But taking you back to the 14th century, it was a strong empire. But time came and it weakened. Then it was referred to as the sick man of Europe by the Russian leader or Russian Tsar or King Nicholas II, who referred to it as the sick man of Europe that needed a doctor to be cured. So the Eastern questions, we shall also look at them, whereby we shall analyze the Greek War of Independence, 1821 to 1832. We shall look at the Syrian question, 1839 to 1841. Then we shall look at the Crimean War that was wasteful and useless in 1854 to 1856, the Bahrain Congress of 1878, and then we shall look at the Balkan Wars or the Balkan Crisis, which will drive us to another phase. So that's what we shall look at. Then we shall also analyze the First World War, its causes, the cause, the results. We shall also look at we shall also analyze the Russian Revolution of 1917, which we can also refer to as the Bolshevik revolt that took place in Russia after the return of Lenin and Joseph Stalin from exile. They formulated that group of Bolsheviks, and then there was a second group called the Mensheviks. So these groups contributed a lot towards the outbreak of the Bolshevik revolt. We shall look at the ideology that came out of the Versailles Peace Treaty, that is the League of Nations, after analyzing the 14th point of Thomas Woodrow Wilson, the President of America during the Versailles Peace Treaty that was held in France, who said, let us form an international peacekeeping body that can bring us together on one table. And that is when they were able to issue out the League of Nations. It was 10th January 1920. That's when the League of Nations was also set, and its results were seen. So those are the things we shall look at in this course unit called the History of Europe since 1789 to 1914. So that's what we shall look at in this area. So let us try to understand this unit, because it is trying to display to us what happened in the modern Europe, what caused the revolutions, what caused the different governments to collapse, and still what made different people like Napoleon Bonaparte, who came from nowhere and he became a very famous man in France. Looking at the challenges he faced, how did he consolidate his position? Then it will also give you the knowledge. It also help you to guide. It also guide you. Some people at times they ask the reasons why they study different subjects. Someone may study a subject when that person doesn't know the reason why he or she is doing that specific paper. But at least this time round, we want to understand why are we doing this course unity. This course unity is going to guide you to know. Actually, it is trying to impart in you the spirit of working hard. Look at Napoleon Bonaparte, who was coming from a peasantry family, and from there, again, what we call the ambitious characters. He became more ambitious. He started to yearn for more, to work hard, tooth and nail, day and night, and from his hard work, Napoleon ended up becoming famous to the extent even his body was worthy a living person. We shall look at that thing. We will see that when Napoleon died in 1824 at St. Helena's Island, in 1845-46, his body was returned by Louis Philippe during the Orange monarchy. But you don't know what happened when his body was returned. A lot of things happened. People said to compare him to a living person, yet he was dead. So history is trying to guide us, making us work hard. We have different philosophers like Machiavelli. Machiavelli also emphasized the hard work, and many politicians read about him, and they also get to know how to rule, how to control their states. Look what we normally refer to the president of Uganda as a Machiavellist, because he's applying all the theories of Machiavelli. We have different people that at least. So when you go through history, it's not all about going through the course unit, but you try to get some knowledge from it such that you can apply it in the daily life. Unless when you don't understand what you are reading, but you can't ask yourself, why am I doing this course unit? But when you go through this, it is going to help you, it is going to guide you. Look at power consolidation, the things that different leaders did to control, to rule for some good period of time, what we call power consolidation. Power consolidation is when you do something to protect your position. For example, when you are at work, you get a job somewhere, and after getting that job, the question is, how are you going to consolidate your job? What things will you do that will make you different from others? What things will you do that will make you the best in that? So power consolidation is when you get something, how are you going to protect it? If you are working in a certain company, in a certain factory, what things will you do to ensure that you are the only person who can do it better? So what we call power consolidation. When Napoleon became the emperor of France, he became the emperor of France, and he did everything to the extent that he could be the only person to do that. When he died, no one else could do what he did. No one can rule Uganda for over 40 years except President Museveni, because for him, he has done a lot of things to consolidate his position. However much you may see some things violent, you may look at them, but still the point is, no one can do it better than him. So consolidation is all about how you position yourself, the things you do to protect your area. So this is the question we are going to look at, and when we come back, we shall look at a number of events like the 1789 French Revolution. Have a good day.